Hey there YouTube, Not So Superfries here, coming in with not a check-in video, but more of an opinion expressing video for once. Just to kind of talk about something that's kind of came up in the 14 community, well, not really community, more the game in terms of the content as of late. So I just want to kind of start off by saying, if you watched the 14 video that I put out on Sunday, thank you so much. It was very well received. It done very well. Actually, was probably one of the better videos I've put out the past few weeks. YouTube actually pushed this one for once, so big thank you to everyone who watched it. There will be more kind of coming every Sunday, but that's not what I want to talk about. So if you kind of seen the community post I put out a couple of days ago, you'll know that 6.35 new patch dropped yesterday. So I kind of said that videos are probably going to be a bit kind of all over the place because I was going to be working on the relics for this patch. So this is what I want to talk about, the relics. So it's caused a bit of a stir. So I'll kind of preface this by kind of going over what relics are if you're kind of out the loop in 14 or you've not long playing it and you're like, why is everyone talking about relics? So relic weapons are seen as the expansion's best weapons. So these are like the top tier. When completed, nothing will top them. Like, there will be no better weapon until the next expansion. So these weapons are supposed to be super grindy. You're supposed to take a long time to get these. Like, these shouldn't be done in 5 minutes, which is precisely the problem that has came up. So Endwalker relics, so they were released back in October. They were mid-October release, and for the first stage it was get 1500 tomestones of astronomy, you get 3 of an item, you get your weapon. Right, pretty straightforward. A lot of ways you could go about it. Like, it was pretty straightforward. What the typical thing is supposed to happen with a relic is when you move on to the next stage, it's supposed to be something different. Like, the game will maybe go from like, okay, you've got the weapon, now we want you to run 5 MSQ dungeons with the weapon equipped. Or like, if we're looking at Shadowbringers, they said, right, you've got your weapon, now get 60 memories. So you can either do it in Fates, so run 60 Fates, or run Bostia, which was the content used at that time. So why has the second stage caused a bit of a stir? It is a carbon copy of Stage 1. So I mentioned that Stage 1 for Endwalker was get 1500 astronomy tomes. Stage 2 is get 1500 astronomy tomes again. Now, I've been reading up on Twitter and I've expressed my opinion on Twitter, and I was quite, I was quite blunt about it. It feels like a bit of a cop-out. There is a lot of content in the game gone begging. Like, I mean, we've got the variant and criterion dungeons that could have been used. We've got the new deep dungeon. I didn't think the deep dungeon would be used. But I mean, they could have at least maybe tied something to it. Or even like having higher Palace of the Dead. Like, just tie it in with one of those. Maybe if you do like Eureka Orthos, you maybe get more of an item. If you do Heaven and High, you maybe get 2. Do Palace of the Dead, you get 1, sort of thing. So it really has got a lot of people up in arms, because if I'm being completely honest, this is too easy. I mean, to pretty much copy paste the stage. Now, when the Endwalker released relics and released initially, it took me about 2 weeks, I think it was like 16 days, to get all 19 weapons. That was okay. Now bear in mind, I did grind every day, but that was exceptionally quick. Usually a stage for a relic is supposed to take 2-3 days max. And I'll use the example of the Realm Reborn. Now, before this patch dropped, I had actually just finished a Realm Reborn relic for my Black Mage. That whole relic took a good few days. In fact, that was actually over the span of a couple of months I was working on that, because I started it, got to the book stage, stopped, and then I came back to it. But if we take, for example, the book stage for Realm Reborn, that one stage took me about 3-4 days for one stage, and this is old content. So that's how grindy ARR was. And then when you compare it to this relic, you could literally start and get to the glowing weapon stage in 2 days. So that is really concerning. Like, a lot of people kind of said, you know, for me, I've got a relic from every expansion. Like, I wanted to make a goal of getting every getting one relic from every expansion before Endwalker hit. So I do have a bit of knowledge when it comes to these things. But yeah, just the general feeling is this is too easy. It's way, way too easy. I mean, the fact that you can jump on, run dailies, then do a handful of dungeon runs. So, like, the average time it takes me to go from 0 tomes to getting relics to finishing the stage and kind of having my dailies there is about 6-7 hours. So yesterday, now, you know how I said, like, these should take a couple of days? Yesterday, when relics dropped, new stage dropped, I got 3 in 1 day. I got 1 in 5 minutes because I was capped already. I got a second one because I had my daily from the day before not done. So I ran through all that, a couple of dungeons, then I got my second. Then daily reset happened, and I ran through all that, handful of 90 dungeons, I got my third one. So I got 3 in 1 day. Now, that really shouldn't be happening, and it was the exact same on release. Day 1, I got 3. And it kinda, like, it shouldn't be that easy. Like, relics, if you don't know, are designed to be a slog. Like, I've talked about the book stage for Realm Reborn. Heaven's Ward had the Umbrite Crystal Sand, which, that was a long stage. That required, I think, 40,000 poetics for 1 stage. Whereas, to finish every weapon for Endwalker, you need 28,500 tomes. So this is piss-takingly easy. And it has, as I said, it's caused a bit of a stir. Because it shouldn't be that easy. I'm hoping down the line, like, honestly, see if Square puts something on par with the book stage from A Realm Reborn. I'm not saying do another book stage. God, no, I don't want to do another book stage because that's awful enough as is. But if we had something on par with how long and grindy it is, these would be worth going for. Because someone actually made the point yesterday that you're better off just going into Rubicanti X, doing that, learning that fight, and then you get a weapon at 625 eye level. The eye level for Manderville is 630. So this is the new relic, 630, which is just under the Abyssus weapons, but is probably seen as more the best in slot because the critical hit is all maxed out automatically. Crit's maxed out, and then you can add in 2 materia for substats, typically your direct hit. So that's why these weapons are really sought after. But in saying that, these, I'm gutted. I'm a bit let down because I was going on Twitter and I was speculating. I thought it's going to be running dungeons with the weapon equipped to get items or power up or even do feats. Like, even doing something like, I don't know, run 6 feats or 6 or 10 feats in each Endwalker area, and when you complete 10, then that's, you move on to next area. Something like that, something that makes it a slog. Because I'm actually working on getting my 4th relic right now. I'm almost a third of the way. Obviously, waiting for a reset, so at time recording, it's about 40 minutes until daily resets. Once this is done, I'm jumping back in 14, reset will hit. I then work through all my dailies, I'll have another relic by about 9 o'clock tonight. It's too easy. Way, way too easy. One stage, doing it for one stage is okay, because I mean, you get the weapon, like, it's kind of a slog. I suppose the only thing that makes this stage a copy-paste good is you know what works. Like, you know what the best ways are, like hunt trains and doing your dailies. But come on, Square, a bit of variety. Like, I am a relic hoarder. Like, for those wondering, like, my relics kind of, my inventory, I've got 3 Realm Reborn relics. So yes, I have spent over 1 million gil in total for Realm Reborn relics. Don't ask why. Heaven's Ward, I've got, I think, I think I've got in total 11 relics completed. Like, this is completed, but in terms of like how many relics I actually possess, I think it's well over 30. Because I've done 3 ARR, I've done, I'm trying to think of Heaven's Ward, I've got a finished Paladin for Heaven's Ward, I've got a part done, I've got up to Hyperconductive on Dark Knight, and I didn't want to do any more. Healers, I've done Astro, then I've got a few more littered in Heaven's Ward. Stormblood, I've got 2 finished, and Shadowbringers, I've got 1 finished, because Shadowbringers grind is awful. Like, no way am I doing Time Worm artifacts. Because that's the Lubrum, and you need Party Finder for that, and I'm too lazy, so I've only got the 1. But the point still stands. Those were slogs. This is easy. I don't like it easy. Like, anyone who knows me in 14 will know I like a challenge. You know, you've seen my videos on YouTube of me soloing stuff and taking on these things that really, I do the dumb shit that no one else expects you to. And this is annoying, you know? I wanted to have something a bit more grindy, something a bit more kind of enjoyable, like, make me value my time. Because this, like, the rate I'm going at, I could be done in 2 weeks. Like, even less, because I don't have a job at the moment, so I'm pretty much spending all my time in 14, so I could realistically finish all these relics in like 2 weeks. Which, for all 19 in 2 weeks, like, that's concerning. Each stage should take 2-3 days, not a day. So, like, this was just a sort of quick opinion expression video. Let me know what your thoughts are in comments about, do you find it's too easy? What could maybe Square have done to maybe make things a bit more interesting? Do you like the way they've done it? Like, do you think this way is actually good because it gives you more routes to go? Or do you think Square's kind of copped out and maybe they don't know how they're going to structure it, so they just kind of went, well, the last stage worked fine, let's just put that in, you know? If, like, you can't fix it if it's not broken sort of thing. It worked really well the last time, let's do it again. It's straightforward. So, I'm a bit, kind of, yeah. So, that's kind of me. I've kind of had my little moment. So, as I say, let me know what you think, and I'm going to jump off and I'm going to go work on this 4th relic, because I want to try to get my tanks finished, like, between today and tomorrow. So yeah, that's gonna see ya.